Hello, everyone. Welcome all to our weekly live here. We have Fernanda Nees here with me. And the subject today is meditation and resilience, strengthening the mind in challenging times. So, Fe, welcome
Thank
uh,
you.
for your time, for your presence here. And should we start?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
So, sorry, go
go.
ahead.
No, no, you
Uh,
first.
okay, so first of all, I think it would be really useful if we started explaining a little bit about resilience. It's a term that is being used everywhere, but I'm not sure if everyone has the right concept about this word. So I think first of all, we should start to explain what resilience is. And I'm going back to my background and to Nuno's background. Not sure if you know, but I had a degree as an engineer and Nuno as an architect. And we studied that in our physics class a long time ago, right? So, differently from resistance, that is the ability to, it's not support, but it's related to your strength, the resistance. The resilience is the ability to adapt. So, resilience is a different and almost opposite concept of resistance, because resistance, when you are resistant, you can receive some strength towards you and not changing. And the resilience, it's quite the opposite concept, which means if you can't go in this direction because something is resisting to you, you are going to adapt and maybe try a different path. So the ability to adapt, the ability to find new ways, new directions, new solutions to something that most times it's not under your control. So this is what I would like to start our live explaining the resilience, the concept of resilience, and next step, I'm going to explain what is resilience in our personalities, in our lives. It's pretty much the same thing, is the ability that you develop. A few of us are born with it, but a lot of us are not, to adapt to situations that usually are not pleasant for us, but we have to with that. And then how are we going to adapt, to overcome, to surpass this situation that happens to us, and we'll have to deal with that in our lives. Okay, this is the
Very-
first thing. Nuno, you want to continue?
Yes, yes. Because we already discussed this subject, I have an extra information regarding resistance in terms of definition, which is also when we think about materials, the resilience is the ability of a specific object in a specific material and shape that can hold into an external force, probably deform, change the shape, but then having the ability to recover the original shape. Okay. And so that means if the extra strength that you are putting into the object, if it's continuous or if it's gradually going up in strength, the first object will break. And I like this image because we can easily transpose into our daily routine, knowing that, okay, how much extra effort can I put in this task or situation? How sustainable that is? Because if it's not sustainable with time, I will break. Meaning break, we are talking about burnout, for example, which goes beyond stress. And I think because resilience and burnout are, they can be so connected, because one helps the other. When you develop resilience, you are fighting against a burnout, but we need to understand, how can I actually train resilience, because it's a skill that we can train and we should train. So we are most of the times talking about how sustainable that is. Even being adaptable, I can adapt, I can go around the obstacle for how long? Okay. I can give an extra hour to my work for how long? How much more can I handle? And so when you put that in a timeline is where resistance makes more sense, in a way that we can grab and understand, okay, this is where in my life I need to train resilience. Okay. Uh, and the most common thing that happen in nowadays is giving extra time to work time and taking off rest time. So the amount of hours that you sleep. Sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes you have a project, you have a deadline, you have a competition, you need to fill millions of forms, and you need those extra hours, and that's okay, but you have a deadline. So you know that for a week or two, things won't go as you would like to, but then once it's over, you come back to your 8 hours of sleep, having your meals always at the same time, waking up always at the same time, watching out for your nutrition, putting everything in the right track. But if you start doing that, giving extra hours, taking hours of sleep away, but you don't know when it ends, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
break.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So putting this subject into a timeline is actually quite useful to understand where the problem resides. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
want to add something?
Yes, but it's a question and it's not for you. I want to leave a question to everyone that's watching our live, but I don't want you to answer. Especially, I don't want you to answer automatically this question. I want you to write down in a paper or your phone, and I want you to keep this question and wait the answer to arrive by itself. That is, how are you dealing with the stress and uncertainty lately, like the last year, I would say, the last 2 years? How are you dealing with your stress and your uncertainty lately? And this is about resilience. This is the subject that we are talking today, because stress is old news for us. It's nothing new, nothing that people don't know what it is. But especially during pandemic, we started to deal with this uncertainty. And this uncertainty brings us a lot of stress. And there are skills that you can develop. Of course, it's not comfortable. Uncertainty, it's not comfortable, but it's not something you can choose. Sometimes when we are young, we have our family protecting us and there's a special bubble and we don't feel this uncertainty. Sometimes you have to, but when you face the real world, you notice, especially lately, that the uncertainty is here. It's not something you can pretend it's not here. It is here. It's saying, hello, I'm here. So, how are you dealing with it? And how can I even take advantage of that? I was talking earlier with you about it. It's really important that we understand. I used to have, I would say 15 years ago, I had a mentor, and he was an amazing person. And he used to tell me, Fê, crisis is the best thing that can happen to you. And I was like, it's not. You're just saying that because it's happening with me, not with you. And he said, no. When we are in a really happy, stable life, we are not evolving, we are not changing, we are not doing anything to grow as a person, as a human being. And in crisis, you learn so much. You have to adapt, you have to see things, you have to create solutions. So crises are amazing. And he said, maybe you don't know that, but in my company, when everything is really good, I just create a crisis because we are going to grow from that crisis. So,
Yes.
uncertainty is a kind of crisis. You can use it to grow, you can use it to evolve as a person. And you have to learn that, okay, now everything is quiet, it's calm, it's stable. But our lives, they have cycles, they do have ups and downs. So if today everything is really good, it's the moment to prepare. It's not being pessimist, it's just being
Yeah.
realistic. Pessimistic? I don't know. Realistic. Bad things are going to happen. It's better to prepare for that. Even a
Yes.
crisis or an uncertainty or those things. I think you want to say something.
Yes. Yes. I want to bring another subject which is straightly related to that,
Mm-hmm.
which is the mindset, because is where we train ourselves for the unknown. Okay, because we can. Um, Let me see a simple exercise. If I have a mentoree that he's saying, "Oh, my life is always the same," when you go from your office to your house, choose another route. Don't go through the same path. Just go differently. Don't let yourself always be guided by Google Maps or Waze. Do get out, and it starts to change. But you only do that if you have the mindset of accepting the challenges of the unknown. Uh, if you are by default a creative person, you will have the tendency to like the unknown. Okay. Yes, but most people are they stick in their they are looking for in their lives to build stability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, most
Mm-hmm.
people are even the artist, the creative person. Somehow they try to build stability with the complexity of being an artist. But when you move that stability away, you feel uncomfortable. Okay, and so you need to train your mindset for that uncomfortable moment. Okay. And sometimes it's just taking a deep breath. For those who know both of us, we speak Portuguese, European Portuguese on my side, Fernanda Brazilian Portuguese. And we were talking right before this live in Portuguese. And I said, I need 5 seconds to change to English mindset. And
To
that's it.
switch.
And it's exactly how we should do it. Okay, like build a mindset and say, okay, take a deep breath. Now, from now on, I'm just going to speak in English. Go. And it was that switch that bring us to the uncomfortable side of speaking not our native language, but still having the passion of bringing good content and inspiring people to live a life with purpose or a happier life or with more quality of life, because this is what drives us in our profession. So even if it's uncomfortable, it's great. Okay, you just need to have the mindset for that. So for you to start working out your resilience, your pre-workout is mindset, right? You need to start, you need to stop and build a mental map of what you want to do or to accomplish, or even if it's unknown, how am I going to react? I'm going to think about my strengths. Okay. I'm going to use my strengths in the unknown. That's a mindset of exploring the uncertainty, for example. And and it goes, okay? But to have that click, to have that spark in your mind, say, okay, I need to change my mindset. We need another pre-workout that we train in our classes. You want to talk about it? Breathwork and meditation, how they can be the link between all these different elements in life.
Of course, of course. And before our lives, when we did the advertisement on Instagram, one of the messages that I received, it was from a student and a friend of us, and she just finished her first marathon. And she said, you know what? I just finished my first marathon. It was amazing. I trained a lot, but with no doubt, I finished because of my meditation classes, not
That's great.
just the physical training that she had to have to finish a marathon. She knew that it was not just about her body being ready. It's more important that your mind is ready. And this is what we do. So, if we do in our classes, beyond all the techniques that we use, we do meditation, we do breathing exercises, and they are going to prepare us to adapt, to create resilience in so many different ways. I'm going to bring you a few, but they're not the only ones, they are just examples. For example, if you receive a bad news, it can be anything. This bad news can stuck you and you cannot react because you are so overwhelmed with this bad news. But if you learn to breathe before you react, or if you know that you want to change your automatic response, you have to stop and not react in the automatic mode. You're going to learn that in our class, and the outcome is going to be way different from that. You, with the meditation exercises, for example, you are going to see things in a different, wider angle. And then something that's happening to you now that seems to be so big, in 1 year, you're not even going to remember that this thing happened. So it creates this notion of perspective. And then your reaction has to be proportional to that. Like, it doesn't make sense to overreact to something that at this moment it can seem really big. But if you go one step back and you look in a wider or in a bigger distance, you're going to understand this is not that big. I can handle that. I can manage my emotions, or between all this information that I have here related to this situation, what's important? I have so many information here. What's important? What's really uh, important for me now and later? We have a lot of, no, you go away, I just want this information. But you need to have a clear mind to see this information and understand that this is important. All the
Mhm.
other things you can go to the trash, they are disposable. Okay, what am I going to do with this information? Okay, this information here, now I'm gonna handle that. You need to have focus, you need to have a clear mind, you need to have your emotions, even the good ones, down, so you're
Yeah.
going to take better decisions, right?
Mhm. Right, right. And just to add, it is a training to get out of autopilot because many times in our lives we are running in autopilot because we have a place to be at that time, then we have a meeting, then we have a class, and then I need to commute, and then I have to, and it's just you feel your agenda in such a way that you look at your agenda and then you enter in an autopilot, and it seems like you're not taking decisions, you're just going. And if you are in that mode, you don't look at that specific thing that you are mentioning. You are, you let it pass, you don't even notice.
You
But
are
then
me,
the
sorry.
but then when you train to be in the present, you will be equipped for whenever you need, you go from autopilot back into safe mode, which is your mode that you are the driver, and you can grab those opportunities or that specific information and do what is best for you and take better decisions. Because autopilot is not always bad, otherwise we'll be exhausted at noon. Like you need to think about everything. I need a glass of water. Where is the glass? Where is the water? What? No, you just do your things. You flow in your life because of so many autopilots in so many simple things, which is great, but not always. And having this ability to move back and forth between autopilot when it needs to be in autopilot and then into driver's mode. I'm driving my life and I need to be aware of all the signals, all the information, and make the better decisions. This is what breathwork and meditation train us to do this. And when you mention the emotional stability too, excitement or stress, the positive and the negative, if we can tell it that way, because you miss those details in your life because you are excited or you are stressed, you lose that. So when you quiet everything down, when you settle down your thoughts or emotions, and you intentionally go to driver mode, then you'll be equipped for better decisions, and then life is great even in uncertainty, right? You say, oh, it's a roller coaster of bonuses and good things and just awesome things.
Exactly, you're right. I was going to talk that at that moment about not being just reactive, but being proactive. I think this is the difference between just passing your life or really living your life, um, fetching your dreams, do things that you believe in. If you want to make a difference in your life, in your personal life, and in other people's lives, you have to switch from reactive to proactive. And if you are aware, you can make this switch. No, no, we
Yes.
are reaching the end of our life today.
Oh,
Can
it
you
was
believe
running
it?
so, it was so smooth that the time passes and we were here sharing good insights, thoughts, and knowledge regarding this subject of resilience mostly. Okay, so what we can do is to invite people, you that you are watching live or recorded on Instagram or YouTube for now. Uh, if you'd like to give it a try to see what the classes are, how they actually can impact positively your life through breath work, meditation, and even movement, um, go to therosemeditation.com. You're going to find a button, not only one, several buttons around the website. You can dig in, see a lot of useful information, then you can try it for 14 days. What does it mean? For 14 days, you have access to live classes. So we get in Zoom and we have a real teacher on the other side. We have like-minded people doing classes with you that are all of them investing in their quality of life, and they are being guided with a real instructor on the other side, probably in another city, probably in another country, probably in another time zone, but we are there doing the classes together. And then, if you like, at the end of those 14 days, you're more than welcome to join into a membership. Or if you can't, you can always continue the connection with us in a free plan that we prepare for you guys, that you can do a 30-minute class per week forever. Okay, so I really would like to see you guys on the other side of the screen when I'm teaching classes, Fernanda too. So do your trial, and I'll be so happy to see you on the other side of the screen. All right. So, Fernanda, thank you so much for your knowledge, for your time, for your experience. And we will see for sure next week in another weekly live here on Instagram and YouTube, and probably in a couple of hours or days if you try the 14-day trial. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Take care.